Stop playing. I play too fucking much. That's the problem.
You hate me now. Oh, you hate me now.
What's up, YouTube? I am back with another motherfucking video. I know I said that I would consistently post videos, and I swear that I really been trying, but I like to be at home ugly in peace. I don't be feeling like, getting myself together. I only look like this for YouTube. I can't get on here looking any type of way because y'all be talking shit, and then I will have to talk shit back. And you know what? I have grown so much as a person. I'm not trying to bring that side out. So today I will be doing a Q&A about my military experience, basically like why I joined, how it was. But yeah, let's get into these motherfucking questions. Before I get into these questions, y'all know Mila always gotta make her appearance. Come on. So yeah, hey Mila. So yeah, this is Mila. If you're new to YouTube, this is Mila. I don't want this video to be too long. I don't like long videos because I don't even like hearing myself talk. So I know y'all don't want to hear me talk. So I just tried to get like the basic questions. I'm trying to shorten it. So I did come prepared this time. I'm going to start off by saying, if you see my nails in this video, don't talk shit. Don't be rude. I know I need to go get my nails done. I'm going to make it to the nail shop. Don't trip on me. Worry about you, mind your business. Thank you. Okay, so the first question is, why did you want to join the Navy? I really don't have an answer for that. I really did not want to join the Navy. I just joined the Navy because I did not want to go to school after high school. Like everybody, all my friends and shit, they was looking for colleges, applying for colleges. I didn't apply to not one college because I knew that's not what the fuck I wanted to do. I hated high school, hated high school. So I knew I did not want to continue my education after high school. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to go to the Navy. My cousin, he was in the Navy, and I don't know. It ain't look that bad to me. Like I seen commercials and shit, and I'm like, fuck it. What did you hope to gain from joining the military? I don't know what I hope to gain. Like, I don't know. It was really like spur of the moment. Like, fuck it. I'm already here. I gotta do this shit. And when I signed that contract, I just knew that I was gonna do my time and I was gonna get the fuck on. Because I just felt like the military, it just wasn't for me as a person because I'm like an alpha female. So like it just don't mix. Like I don't like to be told what to do. How did you tell your family and friends that you were joining the military? How did I tell them? I don't know. One day my daddy, he was asking me and my sister like what we wanted to do after high school. My sister, she was like a grade above me. So she was in her senior year. I was in my junior year. And he was like, what y'all want to do after high school? And my sister, she was going to school. She like, I'm going to go to school, blah, blah, blah. Me, I wasn't fucking with school. I didn't know what to say. I said, I'm going to join the Navy. Pissed him off. My daddy, he wasn't feeling my Navy response when I first said it. He was like, join the Navy. Do you know the war and all this other shit? I'm like, yeah, I'm joining the Navy. As I am like very nonchalant, but it's like, that's just me. I speak in a monotone and everything. So like, I'm just a cool ass female. I don't know. But yeah. How did you join the military? Our school used to have the military recruiters during the lunch periods or whatever. So it's like the Navy, the Marines, the Army in there. So I walked up to the desk with the man, and I'm like, I'm thinking about joining the military. He gave me a brochure, his little card and everything. He like, okay, hit me up, blah blah blah. Let me take your number, da 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 da. So he ended up taking my number. I think like the next 2 days later, I had to go into the office to go meet with him and take a drug test. Y'all, when I was in high school, I smoked a lot of weed. I failed my drug test. I probably was high going to go meet with him. Who knows? But he like, yeah, you can't be doing that. You gotta stop smoking if you serious about joining the military, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool, da, 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 da. But he was not fucking with me. My recruiter was not fucking with me until I took my ASVAB. So the ASVAB is a test that you take to get into the military. It's basically like an ACT for college. The ASVAB is for the military. So the ASVAB, whatever you score, the higher you score, the better job you get, basically. So I took my ASVAB. I guess he got the scores, and he was fucking with me then. He wanted me to come back into the office. Mind y'all, I was still smoking. So I went back in there. I did my little drug test. I failed. He like, yeah, you fucking around. You fucking around. I'm gonna be done with you. You need to quit this shit. I'm gonna be done with you. So I'm like, damn, let me stop playing. Let me stop smoking. Let me stop smoking weed. So I did stop smoking. So MEPS. So MEPS is the process that you go through to get into the military. So it all happened so quick. I literally, like, the ASVAB, the next day he called me like, yeah, I scheduled your MEPS appointment. And I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't know that you had to spend a night at a hotel and get up at 3 in the morning and go through this whole process and all this other shit. So when he told me like, okay, the MEPS appointment is in like 3 days, you're not going to school that day. We're going to write you a letter for school and pack your bag because you're going to stay overnight. And me, how old was I? I was 18 at the time, and I'm like, overnight? Hell no. I'm not staying overnight. I don't know y'all. Hell no. So I had told my daddy, I'm like, I'm scared. I don't want to go. He talking about I got to pack my bag and stay overnight. I don't want to do that. And he like, let me call him, give me his number. So this is why I love my daddy, y'all. My daddy called that man. He said, no, she is not staying overnight. You just told her today that she needs to pack her bag tomorrow and blah, 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 this and that. No, she could go, but you're going to have to come pick her up and you're going to have to drop her off. So he was like, you know, recruiters, they don't give a fuck. They'll do anything. They want that little bonus. He ended up picking me up at like 3 in the morning. I think MEPS started at like 5. It was like an hour away from my house. It was hella people. They split you in sections like Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force. So you go through this whole process. When I tell y'all, this process is so fucking long. Like, oh my God. Like, it was all day. I think it started at like 5 in the morning. I didn't get done till like 5 in the afternoon. That shit was like 12 hours. You go through this process of like tests, medical tests, and all type of shit. Honestly, I don't even remember half the shit that I did there. Because I went in 2013. It was so long ago. But it was long. And by the end of it, if you get approved to join, you go pick your job. By that time, I was tired, and I'm just like, I'm just trying to get the fuck up. up out of here. So I was really looking at where my school for my job would be at. I wasn't really looking at the job too much. I don't know why. But I don't even remember the options that I had. But the option that I picked, I don't know. So yeah, that was the MEPS process. It's very fucking long. What was your job in the Navy? My job in the Navy was ABE. It was my job in the Navy. I ain't gonna lie. So yeah, it was an aviation's boatswain's mate launch and recovery equipment. So basically what we did, well, what they did is launch planes off the flight deck of an aircraft carrier. So yeah, that was my job. I really didn't get to experience my job until I got on the ship. So I was in the military for 5 years. I went when I was 18. I got out when I was 23. How much do you make in the military? I'm gonna tell y'all, for y'all that think people in the military is fucking rich, no. I feel like the officers, if you're an officer, you definitely make some good money. But really, how much you make in the military is really dependent on your pay grade. And, you know, the higher the pay grade, the higher the pay. How long is Navy boot camp? Boot camp was 8 weeks, which was 2 months. So I graduated high school in May of 2013, and then I went to boot camp in July of 2013. So I didn't have much of a fucking summer. So I went to boot camp at the end of July. It was 8 weeks, but I think my boot camp, I think we was there like a week longer because we had to wait on more females to come to form a division. So we was there like a week longer than we was supposed to be. So my next question is, what happens during basic training? So basically during basic training, you know, you get there, you get through the whole processing. That shit is so long too. You be in P days. I think you're supposed to be in P days for like 7 days. I don't know if they changed it. Mad y'all, I went in 2013. TT a little old. I don't know what they do now. But in P days, you basically don't do shit. You go through testing and just processing and signing your life away. They drawing blood and everything else. So once you go through that whole thing, you get into your you get put into your division. My division had females and it had males in there. So it was 44 females and 44 males, which equals to 88 people. But in the berthing, which is the place that we slept, it was another 44 females from our brother division, because it's like 2 divisions together. So I was in division 361. Shout out division 361. I still remember my division to this day. Yeah, boot camp is something else. When I tell y'all that shit is like high school all over again, it was a lot of drama. It was a lot of drama, but I expect that we were all young. It was a couple of older people in there, but for the most part, we were all like young, straight out of high school, young and dumb. We were all just young and fucking dumb in boot camp. So yeah, it was it was a lot of shit. Was boot camp hard? No. I wouldn't say, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's hard though, but you would get tried. It's some trying times in there. Like I was sad as fuck in boot camp. Like I cried a couple of times. My first phone call home to my parents, cause like you don't get to talk. You don't get a phone call for a couple of weeks until you get over to your ship. Like, when you really start your boot camp, when them days really count, that's when you get to talk to your family. And I think I called my daddy phone, and my daddy, he's not a emotional being at all. Like, he don't do that emotion shit at all. He be telling us, he used to tell us to man up. So I called my daddy phone, and I think as soon as he answered the phone, I started crying, and he was like, hold on. He passed the phone to my stepmama like, I can't do this. But yeah, boot camp was fun though. I enjoyed boot camp. Boot camp probably had some of the best fucking food I ever had. Like, I don't know if it's because I was hungry all the time or the food was really good, but the food in boot camp was definitely a motherfucking hit. I think the hardest part of boot camp was probably the physical part, because I wasn't really like an active teenager at all. I was a stoner. I used to smoke weed and kick it with my boyfriend. That's it. I didn't do anything else. So when you go from that to like having to exercise daily and walk everywhere and just, run miles, it wasn't gonna go. I think that played a part into it, like the physical aspect, because I wasn't feeling all them runs. So you got in boot camp, you got three PRTs that you gotta go through, which is like a physical readiness test. And I don't know if they changed it, but back then, TT in 2013, you gotta do a 1.5 mile run, and for the males, the time was different based on your age and your gender. So like, I was young back then, so I think it was like 19 to like 20 something. It was in brackets that the max time was like 15 minutes or something. So I think I had like 15:30 or something to run a 1.5 miles. But do y'all know, a bitch was not active. A bitch could not run. So my first two PRTs, I did not pass. I did not try. I did not care. Those first two PRTs do not count. So it was like, fuck am I doing this for if this shit don't count? It's not a pass or a fail. So I really don't care to do this. So the third one is the one that really counts. The third one determines whether or not you going to graduation. So my third one, I put my blood, sweat, and tears in that, baby. I was like, I can't go home. My biggest fear was to fail, because I was going to go home and people was going to talk about me. And I'm like, hell nah, y'all got me fucked up. So I had to get that shit done. It was either go hard or go home. And I wasn't going the fuck home at all. So I had to pass that shit. But boot camp, it wasn't bad. You have to... I was quiet, so it's like a out of sight, out of mind type thing. I really didn't get in trouble too much, because I really didn't say too much. Like, that's just me. A school is basically like a school that you go to for your job. So I had went to A school after boot camp. When I went to A school, I was there for a minute, because I think it was too many people and not enough instructors. So we was on hold for a while, just basically waiting to get classed up, which is meaning like waiting to take your class. Like, and I think my A school, I really don't remember. If I'm not mistaken, my A school was like 4 weeks, I think. I really don't remember. But I went to A school in Pensacola. Once I did get to A school, our first test, our orders, and your orders is basically like where you're going to get stationed at. Orders were based off of our first test. So I'm like, I need to study for this test, because I'm not trying to get no shitty orders. I don't want to be stuck in Virginia, or not Not even talking shit about y'all in Virginia, but I just heard about Virginia. I heard it's ghetto, and I came from the ghetto. I don't want to go back to the ghetto. I didn't join the military to go to the ghetto. That's not why I joined the military. So I did study really, really hard for this first test. I passed the first test. I think I got like the second highest score or something. I think we only had like 4 females in my class. And so I got the first pick as a female, and all the orders basically was shore duty. It was only one order to the ship, and then the rest was shore duty, which is on land, because it wasn't enough room for females on the ship. It was too many females on the ship because they don't really have female racks on the ship. I don't know why. Thank God it wasn't enough room for me on the ship, so I got put on shore. I think it was like 2 to Maryland, 1 to Virginia, and 1 to Japan, or some shit like that. And I'm like, fuck it, give me Japan. That's the best thing on there. Like, if I'm gonna be on shore, I joined to travel and see some shit. I expected to see some shit. So I'm like, if I'm gonna be on shore, I'd rather be on shore in another country so I could say that I experienced something. I was like, fuck it, give me Japan. So once I told my daddy, I don't think he was really feeling my Japan decision. When I first told him, like, yeah, I picked Japan, he like, Japan? Why would you want to go all the way over there? And I'm like, why not? Why wouldn't you want to go to Japan? So he wasn't really feeling it. And it was the best time of my motherfucking life. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like, I honestly love Japan, and I'm so grateful that I got to experience Japan and just the Japanese culture, the food, the people, everything. Like, I'm grateful because it was really the best experience that I ever had. So yeah, I felt like he felt my military decision after after my boot camp graduation. After he seen me at my boot camp graduation, he like, okay, she really did it. Cause I ain't even believe myself that I was joining the motherfucking military. Like, if you knew me, you knew like military, and no, it just ain't go together. So yeah, so I think he had to see me actually like graduate and like, you know, accomplish some shit to really believe like, yeah, this is what she really want to do. After I graduated A school, I went home for like 30 days. At that time, I had a boyfriend, so, you know, I was just trying to spend time with my man. That high school, young and dumb, thinking we was gonna be together, I was gonna join the military, we was gonna get married. No. But yeah, the day that I left for Japan, y'all, that was the saddest day of my life. Like, I was so sad because I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to really go to another fucking country. I'm really in the fucking Navy. Like, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It was too late at that time. I had already signed my life over. It was too late. Hey, I was already too deep in. It was no change in my mind. So I got to the airport. My daddy, my stepmom, and my boyfriend at the time had took me to the airport to get on my flight to Japan. My daddy said goodbye to me first. He was a little emotional when he dropped me off. He gave me a hug and he hurried up and ran back to the car. And my stepmom told me that he was crying in the car. I was crying too, shit. I was scared. I didn't know what the fuck was about to go on when I got to Japan. So I had got to Seattle. I had spent the night in Seattle. They put me in a hotel. Spent the night in Seattle. Morning, I had got on my flight to Japan. I think the flight to Japan was like 8 to 9 hours. Being over there so long, I got used to it because I think my longest flight was like 10 hours. But my shortest probably was like 8 hours. I used to just sleep the whole fucking flight. Like, that was just a night rest. And you get meals. You get like 3 meals, 2-3 meals. It depends on How long you on there? My flight to Japan, it wasn't bad. I got there. My sponsor, shout out to Ant. My sponsor, he was cool as fuck. I love Ant. That's Uncle Ant, you know. So yeah, when I first got to Japan, you know, I went to my meet the people that I work with. I was literally the only fucking female. I was the only female, and I was the only airman there. Airman is like your rank. I think I was like a E3 when I got there. Everybody else was like a E5, E6. Japan was cool. Like, I really enjoyed my time in Japan. I really did experience it. I went on a lot of tours like around Japan to see like the different parts. I loved the food. I ate a lot of ramen. If you ever been to Japan, you know about Coco's. Coco's is so good. Oh my God. The first time I ever tried Indian curry, I tried it in Japan, and they got the best Indian curry ever in Yokosuka. I used to eat a lot of Japanese dishes like chicken katsu, ramen. Oh my God, dirty ramen, dirty ramen. I love dirty ramen. The 7-Eleven over there got everything that you need. You go get a whole full meal from 7-Eleven. I miss Japan. I miss it. How was it being on a ship? Y'all, when I tell y'all the ship is so motherfucking ghetto. So after I left Japan, they was like, bitch, you're not doing any more shore duty. I don't know what you thought this was. You're about to go to the real Navy. So I got to the ship like, oh, this is the real Navy. This is the Navy. I was just in the Navy on shore duty, but this is the Navy. Like, this the real shit. This the real deal, huh? When I got to the ship, they was out to sea. And I was a little scared. They like, oh, they not gonna fly y'all on. And I'm like, okay, cool. Called me on Cinco de Mayo, like, yeah, get ready to fly out tomorrow morning. This is how short notice you should be in the Navy. Like, you just gotta go at a snap of a motherfucking finger. Yeah, pack your shit. You going to the ship tomorrow morning. So I'm like, fuck it, it's my last day on shore. Let me go get drunk. You know, let me go get drunk. So I got drunk as fuck. I flew onto the ship, hung the fuck over. And I don't think that was a good idea. Cause baby, when I tell you, the shaking of the ship, like, I had to get used to it. It like rock, it sways back and forth. It's not like a heavy, but you could feel it. So when I first got to the ship and I seen my phone had no service, I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. And I got there and they was trying to make me work my first day there. I said, are y'all fucking serious? Like, what's going on? So I think when I got to the ship, because I really didn't know much about my job, I didn't know a motherfucking thing about my job. I didn't know anything. I knew my shore duty shit, and literally my job, you could really only do my job on the ship. Like, you have to be on an aircraft carrier to do my job. And I didn't know anything about it. I just knew about shore. It was kind of similar, but not so much, like, at all. So when I got there, they like, oh, you fresh out of boot camp. I'm like, no, I've been in the Navy for 3 years. Damn near 4. Don't play with me. Like, I've been in for a while. I might not have been in the Navy, but I've been in this bitch for a while, and I'm about to get the fuck out. It's time for me to go. So when I got to the ship, I had like a year and a half left. And they really wanted me to learn the shit that they had going on. And I wasn't interested. I really wasn't interested. And it was just the approach of it. Like, I didn't fuck with the ship at all. I didn't like the leadership. I didn't like anything about the ship. It just was not for me. The hazing, the bullying. Bitches tried to bully me. It's just, No, not me. Luckily, I swear, like, if you don't have a strong mind, you're not going to make it on the motherfucking ship at all. Especially as an ABE, you're not going to make it. All I can say about the ship, ghetto. Ghetto dirty. It's just fucking ghetto. How was deployment? So, for deployment, since I'd never been on a ship, I went cranking. And I absolutely fucking love cranking. I wanted to extend my cranking. Like, I did not want to go back to my division, to my job. I didn't want to do my job. Cranking is basically like you help out in the galley, which is like where everybody eat at. But I was in a Chiefs mess, which is like the E7 and to like E9. I was in the Chiefs mess, so they got good food like that the E6s and below got wasn't the same as the E7 and above. It just wasn't. So I really enjoyed cranking because I got to eat good food. We barely worked. Like, we used to get like a 3-hour lunch break, 2-hour lunch break, all type of shit. Got off work at like 4 or 5 o'clock. So I had a life. Because the life as an ABE on the ship, once I went back to my division, when I tell y'all, babies, child, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I hated it, but it's just, I literally like sat in like a room, and it was just like a closed space. Like, you don't see the sun. It's no sunlight. It's nothing. Like, you don't see the sun. I didn't see the sun for fucking days. Like, it was like a little hole I could peek out of. And you're like in there, you're manned up. When you manned up, it means like air operations is going on. You can't leave. You gotta go to the bathroom, you need to hold it. You hungry, can't eat. Can't do nothing. You can't be on your phone, can't do shit. So you just sitting there, you sitting in this room, you about to go fucking crazy. Like, for real. I had like a little calendar, and I used to write like quotes to myself on there, like, and count down my days to getting out the military. Cause the ship, that was not it for me. I feel like I was wasting my life away. But deployment, the ports were nice. Like, I fucked with going to the different ports. It was nice. We'll pull into port for a couple of days. One day will be your duty day. So you'll be on the ship all day for that one day. And then the other days you got free. You could do whatever you want. You ain't gotta go to work. On my 7-month deployment, we went to Guam, we went to Bahrain, we went to Dubai, we went to Singapore, Philippines, Hawaii. I think that was it. Which country was your favorite to visit on deployment? My favorite country to visit on deployment, it probably was Singapore. I had fun in Singapore. Singapore was lit. I definitely had fun. I enjoyed myself in Singapore. Next to Singapore, I would say like the Philippines, because the Philippines was cheap as fuck. Like, the Philippines was cheap. I barely spent money in the Philippines. Everything was so fucking cheap out there. I fuck with Dubai, even though everything was expensive, but I would rather go back to Dubai without the military. Like, I'm planning a trip to Dubai soon. Dubai nightlife, you know, see what they got going on. We, after deployment, because we got done with deployment in May, and I got out in July. So after deployment, I was basically just doing my little checkout process. I was processing to get out the military. How was it getting out the military? Y'all, getting out the military was harder than getting into the military. I don't know. And I had like a chief that told me like, why you getting out the military? Rich people don't join the military, so I know you're not rich. I know I'm not rich, and I ain't gonna get rich in this motherfucker, so I gotta go. So yeah, the process, you go to like a week-long class. I went to TAPS. It's like a transitions. I forgot what it means, but it's basically like you a bunch of resources on like what you need to do to get out, and if you need help with anything. And like job training, we did like interview training, resumes, all that stuff. Would you do it all over again? If I could, would I do it all over again? Yes, I would do it all over again. I went in when I was in my young adult years. I went in when I was 18, and I got out when I was 23. I basically spent my adult years, my early adult years in the military. Like that's a part of me. Even though I don't show it. You like civilian or military life better? What do y'all think my answer would be? I love civilian life better. I think everything is just better as a civilian because you have your freedom. I feel like in the military, I didn't have my freedom to just like up and just like today, if I don't feel like going to work tomorrow, I could call my job and be like, hey, I'm not coming in tomorrow. I don't feel good, or I don't want to. I just don't want to. I don't give a fuck. And you can't, in the military, you can't do that. Like, if you were to be sick today, like sick on your deathbed, sick today, and you tell them, like, hey, I'm sick, I'm not feeling good, I'm not gonna come in. They're gonna be like, what? Did you go to sick call? Did you go to medical? Did they write you a note? Did they give you SIQ? No, you can't do that. You have to have permission to be sick in the military, and that's just something that I don't want permission over my life. Like, what were your first few months out the service like? Oh my God. So when I got out of the military, like it was like a surreal moment. Like it didn't feel like I got out because I got out I think like 3 days before I was actually supposed to get out, because the day that I was really scheduled to get out the military, it was on like a Sunday. So that Friday, I signed my DD-214. Your DD-214 is basically your military life. Like, you need to make copies of that shit as soon as you get it. I signed my DD-214 on that Friday. I was still staying on base at the barracks. So I was basically out the military, but I was still in the military, and it didn't feel real because I was still in the barracks. I didn't leave to that Monday because they don't fly you out on the weekend. So I had to wait till Monday came for me to leave. And once I got home, I had the worst first day ever. When I tell y'all I had the worst first day ever, oh my God. Like, I just felt like I was like thinking in my head, like, did I make the right decision? Like, did I make the right decision of getting out? Because this can't be life. Like, this can't be going on right now. What the fuck is going on? I lost money. It was just a lot going on. I was just so discouraged. I'm like, I'm not feeling this. Like, I'm not feeling this civilian life. I want to go back to the Navy. The next day, I did have a lot of job offers getting out the military. So if they in the military lying to y'all, telling y'all that it's no jobs out there, it's definitely jobs out there. I had job offers when I was on deployment, job interviews and everything. So I did get a job offer. I worked at Securitas when I first got out. Y'all, I worked there for like a week. I was a supervisor, but they had me fucked up. I had to quit. I had to go. I walked out and never came back. And I'm like, oh my God, I just don't know. Like, I don't know. I think I was still discouraged. Like, I don't know what I want to do. Because the military was honestly all I knew. I had graduated high school. I went in when I was 18. I got out when I was 23. So that was 5 years of my life. I really didn't know what I liked or what I wanted to do. I had no identity really, and I feel like I had to reinvent myself and I had to learn myself. So that was just like the process that I had to go through. Luckily, I'm 28 now. I know what I want to do in life. Even though I don't know what I want to do in life, but I know. I have an idea. When I first got out of the military, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had no idea about nothing. I didn't really experience life but the military. So it's like I was just like a robot. It's because you have to get used to like a daily routine of like every day in the military is this. You know what you're gonna do. Like everything is planned. You already know what you're gonna do. You do the same thing every day. Like every day you do the same thing. It's nothing new. So I had to get used to like getting into the routine of things changing and not having everything planned out. And it just, I'm not good with change, but I am good with change, if that makes sense. So it's like my first 2 months I was depressed. I was really depressed. Like I end up quitting that job and I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna work. I'm just gonna go to school, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna be unemployed. But I got bored, especially once you used to working all the time in the military and then you just stop and then you like, okay, I'm just sit at home. No, that was the worst idea I ever had. I think I quit in like September. I was probably back working like November, October. I didn't stop working for that long because it was like, I don't know, my anxiety was bad. Like I felt like getting out my anxiety was very bad and I just rearranged my whole room. I rearranged my room, I felt so much better. I ended up getting a new job. I think I worked that job for like 7 months. I ended up quitting. I was going to school. I did sign up for school. So I was going to school. I used my Illinois veteran grant for school. So I was going to school part-time and I was working part-time at the time too. To go get me a car. I had end up quitting my second job like 7 months after I quit my second job. I loved it, but it just, I think after a while, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to grow. Because it was a process. It was a process. I don't think nobody noticed, but I was kind of depressed. I don't know. I was just nervous. I just didn't know, like, if I would fail. Because, before you get out, like, the military will scare you before you get out. Like, oh, you gonna fail. And I was a little scared, like, damn, what if I do fail? Like, what do I do? Because I didn't want to get out and then be the one to, like, get out, talk all that shit, and then get back in because I have nothing going on. So I'm like, damn. Yes, I was learning myself. I was really learning myself. I really just start like figuring out me this year. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's been 4 years since I got out, but I really have tried figured it out this year. So next year, 2023, is gonna be a great year for me. I'm claiming it. What are some things you miss about being in the service? I think I just miss the people and the travel. I have met some of the best people, like some of my lifelong friends, people that I still talk to, like people that I consider family for sure. In the military, I have met some of the most genuine people in the military. I fuck with y'all forever. My brothers and my sisters, I fuck with y'all. What are some you are glad to have left behind? Oh, a lot. Like them long work hours, just the asking for permission to just do anything. Just everything. Basically. Just everything. The military is not bad. I'm not going to say it's bad. It just wasn't for me. And I knew that. I knew that the military wasn't for me when I first got in. I knew like it was going to be a trying process, but I was going to have to get that shit done if I wanted to be something in life. I don't know. The military was like my stepping stone. And I felt like if I failed at that stepping stone, then I would have nothing to step on to be where I need to be. I do have like a question that I think a lot of people ask me, because they be like, oh, I know you rich. I know you got money. You was in the military. I know they still pay you. If y'all quit a job, are they still gonna pay y'all? Like, if you go into your job today and you be like, I don't want to work here no more. I'm done. Today is my last day. Are they gonna keep paying you when you not working for them? Hell no. Why would the military pay me and I'm not working for them? They're not about to do that. I don't get any money from the military. I don't get money from just being in the military and getting out. I don't get money from that. So for y'all with that concept, and when y'all be talking to me and y'all be like, I know you still getting paid. No, I'm not. Sorry. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate all the support. I know I say this every fucking time. I'm gonna try. I really am going to try. I hope I answered most of the questions. Follow me on Instagram at Chemo Keith. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Give me to at least, I know I'm good for at least a little 60 ball. I'm at 57 subscribers. Give me to a little 60 ball. I will upload another video at 60. I fuck with y'all. Thank y'all for fucking with me.
Can't nobody make me mad. I walk around with my head down. Doesn't make me mad. Fuck it. Yeah, I spray the ground. Ain't nobody gave me